Hello, this is Grandmaster Max Dlugy with Game of the Day, and the Shamkir 2016 edition is on the way in tribute to the late Vugar Gashimov. So round one, let's take a look at one game, and then I'll feature a game between Safarli and Pavel Eljanov. And but for now, let's take a look at Caruana Fabiano's attempt to break through Pentala Harikrishna's Sicilian. The game started with a Sicilian here, and after this interesting line with Queen F3, which has been played in numerous games recently, and Black is playing this early E5 here. We have this interesting setup. H3 is of course very important to stop Bishop G4, B5, and now we have a position which has been seen a few times, and mostly White has tried either A3 or G4 here to immediately attack or to immediately defend against the B4 advance. But Fabiano prepared this move Bishop D3, which is officially the novelty in this position, and he wants the bishop to start exerting pressure on this H7 diagonal once White moves the knight here and takes with the pawn, which is exactly what happens, because Black really has to do that, otherwise White will come in with G4 and G5, and the knight will not be able to take on D5. So B4, knight D5, knight takes D5, pawn takes. Okay, Black of course starts counterplay on the queen side with A5. White plays a very important prophylactic move. Usually, if the king is on C1, you just play king B1 without even thinking. I remember a recent game I played against MVL in Blitz, and I'm looking what move he made, and I can't understand why my clock is running, and then I saw that the king's just on B1 already for the last half a minute. I lost half a minute on the clock, and eventually lost, actually it was also in the Sicilian. I lost the game because I didn't have enough time, and maybe because I didn't have a bad position. Anyway, Bishop E7, G4, castles, and G5. Okay, White clearly showing his intentions. He wants to attack. And, okay, Black has to get rid of the biggest enemy here, Bishop on A6, so Bishop A6 is coming to get the Bishop on D3, was what I meant. And White plays Queen E4. Now, this is a cool move because actually White is saying, look, it's possible that if you take on D3, for example, I'll take with a C pawn, and then I'll do the attack. Now, whether this is such a great plan or not remains to be seen, because of course Black also has counterplay. For example, he can start messing with White's kingside with B3, and on A3 he could throw in F5 to open up some lines. And it's not that clear. For example, GF, and then we can even have the queen coming in through E2. For example, check here, and Bishop takes F6 to go Queen E2. In some cases, let's say Rook C1, Queen E2, and Queen comes out from a completely different side, like a hide and seek type of situation. But Black waits one move and plays G6. And okay, White plays H4, logical, and Black plays Rook F8. So no one's in a hurry to exchange on D3 yet, and White plays Rook C1 to stop the queen penetrating to C2. And this is actually a very interesting position because it's been debated on some sites, and some commentators were saying, wait, this is decisive. This is a decisive advantage if White just plays H5 here. After Queen D7, this is what Black played. If White plays H5, White's advantage is decisive. Now, this was actually based on the idea that White is going to either break through on the king side, or if Bishop takes D3, take on D3, and then break through on the queen side with the Rook C6 idea. Now, that is, of course, a very strong idea. So we need to understand if there was a way for Black to survive after this. And in fact, it's not so difficult. We just take the rook and offer the second rook to be exchanged. Now, I'm sure the commentators that I'm talking about had in mind that White will instill this rook on C6,